Welcome back. My name is Kris Krohn. I have done thousands of real estate transactions, and today I want to settle the score. If you're brand new to the game of real estate and you want to know how to get in and what's the most intelligent, fastest, easiest approach to doing it, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 strategies, 2 of which people think are the best, and you're going to see the one that is the best.
'Cause we're gonna be legends. What we're doing here ain't just scary. It's about to be legendary.
You know, people want to get in this debate and say, well, which real estate strategy is best? And in reality, can I really say that there is one best strategy? I actually cannot. It actually has to do with the user. If you're beginning in real estate, I'm going to share with you the best strategy. If you have $10 million, I'm going to actually recommend something different. The strategy shifts for you. But assuming that you have a net worth under $1 million, I'm going to share with you how you're going to make your first $1 million in real estate. Now, when you think real estate, there's a lot of people that have heard exciting things about it, but they've also heard some really nasty, hard to hear, horrible horror story things about real estate. And it's because you have an option and strategies. Like, what do you want to do? There's 30 major strategies in real estate, and the biggest ones that most people are familiar with are number 1, flipping, number 2, doing a rental, and then number 3 is what I'm going to call a lease option, which is a funky hybrid between these two. Mathematically, for the beginner, for someone trying to make the first million who has a net worth under $1 million, I'm going to share with you what to do. For those of you that have a net worth over $1 million, you're going to want to check out my partnering platforms where I can make real estate insanely turnkey, passive, takes no time, but we're averaging 25% returns, and 5 years from now, 50% returns, and then over 10 years, compound that to over 100% a year. So that exists. kriskrohn.com/partnering is where you learn about that. But let's jam here specifically on how to make your first $1 million in real estate. So for starters, the flip on the outside looks super attractive, but let's actually give you some real numbers. We're talking about a house that has a value of $150,000 that you can purchase for $110,000. If you were to flip this home, you're like, Kris, I'll flip it and make $40,000. That would be so cool if you could do that. But there's some costs that you're not taking into account. With a flip, first of all, you have to have the money to buy the home. And then you have to rehab it. You're going to have some interest on that money. And then you got to hope that the market cooperates with you. So for example, you might be getting a $40,000 discount on this home because that needs $10,000 worth of work. I won't make 40 grand, I'll make 30 grand because 10,000 in rehab. It doesn't work that way either. You have to market and sell this, and you're probably going to put it up on the MLS. One of the realtors that finds the buyer is going to want 3%. You or your realtor could maybe represent it for 1.5% or 2%. So you're going to be 4.5% in. So that's also probably going to cost you close to another 10 grand. Well, wait, Kris, 10 grand of rehab, 10 grand of closing costs, there's 20 grand left over. Yeah, but then you want to sell it and make sure it can move on the market so that you avoid interest. So you might want to list it 10,000 below market. Kris, at the end of the day, there's only 10 grand left to make on that. That's true. And it might be risky. So if you want flipping to work, guess what you need to find? Way better deals. But if you do, you're going to want to hear what I say next. So then you say, you know what? The short game isn't the way I should be playing. I need to play the long game. So you're going to say, instead, let's do a rental. Okay, here's some things that you need to know about a rental. How you're going to make your money there is not by selling the property and getting a big chunk of money. You're going to sell it by getting a cash flow. Because you're buying it that far in the market with the same scenario, let's assume you're getting a $250 a month positive cash flow. This is good, right? I mean, $250 comes in every month. That might help make a car payment, part of a house payment, or pay down credit cards. So it's useful. However, with a rental, every year, guess what happens? Repairs, management fees, and things you don't expect. And most of that cash flow gets wiped out, which means that you have a property with equity and everything is kind of balancing to zero. So 5 years goes by and you're like, am I up anything? No. The value may have increased because time passed and real estate appreciates with time if you're at the right timing in the market. But guess what the rental did on those last 5 years? It thrashed it. So now you have some rehab to do, and that rehab may end up costing you not just $10,000, but now 5 years later, $10,000 more. So with the rental at the end of the day, you might make, in this scenario, $20,000. And now you're doing some math. You're like, wait. I can have 10 grand in 4 months, or I can have 20 grand in 5 years. Hello, let's just do this game and not do that game. But before you decide that, I want to introduce you to a new game, a hybrid. This is the lease option game. Out of 30 real estate strategies, this is the most profitable. Link below will tell you how to get with my team, where you can get the training, my contracts, and hands-on training and access to basically go out there and help you crush this game of real estate. And so understand this about the lease option. With a lease option, it's like doing a rental, but saying, family, you're not just here to park it and then move out. You're parking it to buy it, which means you're gonna rent to own. That's what lease option means. You have an intention of buying it. And maybe the first family doesn't buy it 2 or 3 years later, but the next family has a higher likelihood. So in 5 years, when we sell this, a couple of things happen. Number one, do I have the rehab that I had to do twice here and once there? Nope. Why? Because these people want home ownership and they don't need top-notch condition. They'll put some sweat equity in. Well, then you're like, well, Kris, we have $10,000 of selling fees here and here. With a lease option, you don't have any selling fees. It's another $10,000 that you're actually saving. So you're saving money here, but guess what? These people typically pay closer to double your cash flow on a market rent. So now if you're getting $500 a month, and then when there's a rehab, you're not actually putting it back in the property, you get to keep this money. So now instead of getting nothing, you're getting $500 a month, and then they also give you a commitment to buy. It's like little flip money. On average, they give you $5 grand up front. So check it out. I get $5 grand when they move in. If they don't buy it, the next family gives me $5 grand. I don't have to fix it up as long as it's just cosmetic issues. I'm making a cash flow on this. By the time I go to sell this, it's very easy for me to come up with a scenario where I make this kind of money. And now you have to ask yourself a question. 10 grand in 5 or 6 months is cool. 20 grand over 5 years is not as cool as that. But 60 grand over 5 years, this is passive. This is a job. This one, you got to keep finding new deals. You got to repair them. You got to be in the weeds. And if you screw up, it's evaporated. Over here, you have a lot more safety. My first 25 homes were all right here. 25 of these gave me a net worth of $1.6 million. And friends, that's how I got my start in the game of real estate. So when we're talking about what is the number one best strategy, I can't say it's the best strategy for multimillionaires because I would do something different with them. They can learn about that on kriskrohn.com. But for you, if you haven't made your first million yet, then this is my recommendation and this is one of your options. I also have other ways of doing real estate, but hands down, if you want to be hands-on, this is the way to be. This is the place to start. Thank you so much for watching today's video, man. I hope it was useful for you and educational. That's what I wish every single time for putting these videos out there, because I'm the actual investor investing and buying homes every single day, but I got a team that is so brilliant that I've got the time to do some training and help other people get the benefits that I've gotten in my life. If you're not a subscriber, take care of that right now. Please comment on this video, share your thoughts and ideas on it, and for sure click the link below, because guess what my team will do for you? You've got a link down there for getting a free copy of my book if you don't have that, that explains how all of this works. And you just cover the shipping and I'll send it out to you. But more importantly, talk to my team about lease option, how it works, the math. It's all on that sheet on that link below. And I look forward to you getting that information because guess what? It's all in service of you having the most success you possibly can. Take care.